Hey, what's going on guys, welcome to this video. This is going to be a room setup video. Now, two things about this video real quick. One, it's going to be a bit long because I'm going to try and explain the reasons that I've got everything in here and provide links in the description. So check out the description if you want to buy anything that I have in this room. And it's not going to be like an amazing over-the-top gaming setup. This is just my gaming setup as a student who's like trying to budget everything. So it's not like amazing with LEDs on every single square meter of area and 700 graphics cards in one computer. It's just a standard setup. The most interesting thing, the only interesting thing about my room is actually my computer and gaming setup. So I'm going to leave that till last. If you want to watch that, skip to the end of the video. But yeah, let's get into the room of a budget student. So starting off, I don't know where to start. I'm going to start off with the main boring thing that a bedroom has, which is a bed. As you can see, this one, it's not actually big enough for me. I need to get a bigger one, but there's not enough room. So I've got to make do with this one. I am 6'1", and when I'm lying there with my head there, my feet are dangling off the end, which is the worst thing in the world. But on the bed you can see the tripod. I've got nowhere to put it right now, and an old towel that I use. Here we see some curtains which actually match the bed quite nicely. Shout out to mum. Window, Amazon boxes, stuff that I need to throw away. And that's basically the bed right there. Now the bedside table does have some interesting stuff. You can see wires everywhere. I try my hardest to do cable management, but I'm not the best at it. You can see this hook right here is actually really useful. I'll leave a link to these on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I can find the link to that. You just stick them on anything, and I use them as cable kind of holder things. This is my laptop charger. I never use my laptop unless I'm in bed watching videos. That's really nice next to the bed. And on top we have the case for my camera that I'm using right now, which is a Sony WX220. We have a USB plug which doesn't work anymore, which is why I got this, which is the iClever USB hub charger thing. It's actually really good and quite cheap. It's only £15 on Amazon. I'll leave a link to that. And I use that to charge all the USB stuff now. I've used it for 2 days and it's perfect. It's really small, plugs directly into a plug, so there's no extra USB required. It just charges everything I need. I use it to charge my phone and my portable charger, which is an Anker portable charger. I'll leave a link to that. And the camera that I'm using right now, I charge that with the USB right there. And some mouse cats and a lamp. That's pretty standard. Move this out of the way. We go over to the shoes, which is nothing really interesting. I've just got 4 pairs of shoes with some socks on them. These are the shoes I use mainly. There's the one on the right, which are my newest ones. They're pretty nice. I use them with everything. Rest of them standard shoes, you know what I'm saying. I've got 2 more pairs. They're over there in that corner, but I don't usually really use them that much. So that's shoes right there. And then we move on to this behemoth of a cupboard. On top you can see suitcase. Never really use that unless I'm going somewhere. Badminton bag, which I use whenever I go to play badminton. Obviously it's got my kit in there, my rackets, everything. Pretty standard what you expect in the wardrobe. This is basically all my clothes on one side. Shirts, trousers, t-shirts, all that kind of good stuff. I've got a lot of clothes but I hardly wear any of them. And on this side we have just a load of junk. We've got suits and stuff that I hardly ever wear, so they're on that side. And mainly a lot of this is just memorabilia. If you can see that bag right there, that's got a lot of stuff from secondary school, including shirts that we all signed on the last day, and my old blazer. These 2 boxes right here for watches that I got when I went to Saudi Arabia. 2 of my favorite watches are in there. I'll probably show you the watches at the end as well. That's the door that I enter. It's got some coats and stuff on there that I use, and a chair. And let's move on. There, as you can see on the wall, there's a clock which is very loud, but I've gotten used to it, so everyone who comes into my room understands how loud it is. If I move close, it's literally all you could hear. Right now the computer's on and you can still just hear it tick-tocking away. Moving over, standard shelf with paraffin. I've got Twilight on there, but I never read it. That's mainly because I had an empty shelf in my room and my sister's room had no space. I didn't read Twilight, although I did watch the movies. Yep, sprays and books that got soaked when I accidentally took a bottle of water in my bag and it just spilt everywhere. That was the worst. Down there is actually something pretty interesting. That is my old graphics card, which is a GT630, which I replaced in my computer. I'll tell you all the specs of that when we get to it. Down there is just an empty bag and some plugs right there. Here we have the secondary desk, which is hardly ever used. Probably gonna take this to another room, I was told. So I really want to buy a bigger main desk, but we'll get to that later. I have a Scan custom built laptop which cost me £600. I'll leave all the specs to that in the description if I remember. It's got an i5, a GT 740M or 640M, one of those two. Really nice, to be honest. I've only started using it to its full potential recently, playing Black Ops 2 on it, and it works really nice. Underneath you can see those spare shoes that I was talking about. Two weights I hardly ever use because I go to the gym, and when I don't I'm lazy. And my bag with all my books in it. This right here is my box. This is a box of the new power supply that I got. When I move on to the computer I'll talk about it in more depth, but in here I just chose this one box for some reason to keep everything spare from my computer. I've got a spare fan, I've got some SATA cables, I've got these which are really good. Definitely going to leave a link to these. These are Velcro cable ties. I've only used 2 or 3 of them, but they're very nice. These are the hooks that I was talking about. Underneath there I've just got a DVD drive, spare cover, some more wires for the power supply because it is semi-modular. That is basically all my spare computer paraphernalia. There's a bin down there, and I think that's pretty much it for the rest of the room. I'm not missing anything. No, I'm not. So let's move on to the actual gaming setup. A quick warning, the rest of this video is a lot to do with my gaming setup and all the components. Is very techy, so if you don't care about that, just skip to the end of the video. And yeah, now to start off pretty weak. As you can see, this is my chair. It's just a standard £50 chair that I got many years ago. You could probably get it for a lot cheaper right now. I use this as a stand to put loads of things on, like a shawl and a vest, and it actually makes it more comfortable, surprisingly enough. But here is the actual gaming setup. Now, I've spent so long making this and it's still nowhere near completion, like my dream goal, but this is absolutely amazing. I never thought I'd have this much, let's not lie about it. When I first got this I had a different computer. If I just show you, this is my old computer that I took apart with the old heatsink, old power supply. It was very nice for everything I wanted, just to play RuneScape. But it turned out I had to upgrade, and I did that recently. I'll talk about that. But as you can see, this keyboard is a backlit RGB keyboard. You can't program it to one color, but I like the rainbow anyway, and it was unbelievably cheap. It was £16 for this, including a mouse that lit up and stuff. Not this one, a different one which I gave to my cousin. Leave a link to that on Amazon. Got a TechNet gaming mouse which is based on the Anker. It's basically a copy, but it's like half the price, so I got that. Really nice. And you can see my 2 monitors. This one is running on HDMI and this one is only running on DVI. I think that's what it's called. So this one's obviously better, and it was surprisingly a lot cheaper. This one was £180 when my uncle bought it for me, and this one was only £120. But I use both of these. To be honest, even if you don't need 2 monitors, just get 2 monitors. It's just really nice. So if you're playing a game on one side, you can be Skyping on the other side, or watching YouTube videos and working, and it's just really nice. Mouse is really nice. I've got like 9 programmable buttons on there. It goes up to 6400 DPI. Standard £2 mouse mat. This resting for your wrists while you're keyboarding, and that's basically it. Now if you look underneath the desk, I have done my best to do cable management. So as you can see here, if I take it down there, it all just comes down one end. All of the mess is basically there. If you can see, it's like a really low light. All of the cables go through the desk into there. I would drill a hole into it like loads of people do and feed the mouse and the keyboard wire straight through, but there's this drawer in the way. Actually, I haven't done the drawer. Let's go into the drawer if I move that out the way. The drawer is just full completely of stuff. There's a tape measure that I bought recently, random 1 and 2 Bitcoins I've collected. I just put them in that bag. Some shoelaces, some pens, some sunglasses, some more pens, a DVI cable, an adapter, 4 wallets, of which I only use 1, a duster because it's a white desk and it gets really dusty. You can see it quite easily. Just some change in there, glasses, and some watches. I think out of these, my favorite watch is probably this one, which is surprisingly, how old is it now? 7 years old? It's really old and it's still working perfectly. One of my favorite watches from Next for £35. That was amazing. Wristbands, I love wearing wristbands. I don't know why, it's just become a habit. And yeah, that's it for that drawer. This drawer is just full of some extra wires and tools I used. There's some CPU cleaner for building the PC. Let's get on onto what you've all been waiting for, which is the actual PC itself. As you can see, there's bloody red LED lights everywhere. And I'm going to put all the specs of this in the description, along with where you can buy them. I just got them everything from Amazon. The only thing in here that is from my old computer is the processor and the RAM, I'm pretty sure. And both of those are getting upgraded soon enough. I'm gonna be buying them, I think sometime next month hopefully, and then upgrading the whole thing, buying new RAM, buying a new processor, and even a new motherboard, because you know, new processor needs a new motherboard. But this is all in the Corsair Carbide SPEC 03 case. Really nice case, only like £50. Leave a link to that. This is a SD card reader for my camera, because it didn't have an internal one and I didn't want to buy one, so I just bought a USB 3 SD card reader for the camera that I'm recording on. Just plug that straight in. There's an external drive which I'm not using yet, but when I start making some proper crazy videos, I'm thinking about doing a gaming channel. That will come in really useful. That's 500 gig external storage. Oh yeah, and another thing that's in this computer that's from my old one is the 2TB internal drive. I'm going to update that because it's just old and it's getting a bit slow. If we look, we have two LED fans at the front, we have one red LED fan at the back. The spare one came with the case, the spare one that was in that box came with the case. I replaced it with LED fans because, you know, they look really, really nice. Inside, as you can see, this got really dirty. I don't know, I've only had it for a bit. It's already dirty, but I got a red LED 5 meter strip, not 5 meter, 3 meters, which I put all the way around on the inside, USB powered, and I just cut the end off. The good thing about this one is it's 5 volt, so even if you turn the computer off but leave the power plugged in, it'll stay on. Oh, that voice cracked though. There you can see my Seagate Barracuda 2TB hard drive. I don't have a solid state drive, that's coming with my upgrade. But I have a CX600M 600 watt Corsair power supply in there, semi-modular, really nice. I have an i5 3550p, which is just not very useful nowadays. It's decent, it's 3.1 gigahertz, but I'm gonna go for a 6700K next, which is like 4 gigahertz. I got a Hyper TX3 Evo cooler because the original stock cooler was just way too loud and not good enough. I've got dual channel 4 gig each, so that's 8 gig total of DDR3 RAM. It's only 800 megahertz. I found that out recently. That's definitely getting upgraded. The main thing there is the graphics card. It's a Sapphire AMD R9 380X Nitro, which is amazing. 4 gig of RAM, VRAM on there, and it's just perfect for everything I need it for. And I think that's it. The motherboard is an ASRock H61 Pro BTC. I had to get a really awkward one because the processor, which is the i5 3550p, was an LGA 1155, which they hardly make anymore, in full ATX. Take a look from the top. That's also pretty nice. Now, I was just talking about upgrading my PC, and my plan is to buy 4 things, I think it is. Yeah, 4 things. I'm going to buy an i7 6700K. It's going to be perfect for gaming and streaming at the same time, and video editing. That's going to be awesome, and that is about £290. I'm going to buy an Samsung 850 Evo 250 gig SSD. I'm going to put my operating system and big games like GTA 5 and Photoshop and Sony Vegas, all of that stuff on there so it runs smoothly. I'll probably buy a new internal hard drive as well, just because this one's a bit old. I'm going to buy, what else do I need? I need a new motherboard with that, so I'm going to buy the Asus Z170 Pro Gaming. And the last thing was, oh yeah, the RAM. I'm going to buy dual channel 8 gig DDR4 RAM, so I'll have 16 gig in total. Perfectly fine for me. That'll be running at 2133 megahertz if I overclock it in the BIOS, because that is the limit of the motherboard. No, it's the limit of the CPU, I'm pretty sure. One of them is limited to 2133 megahertz of RAM. I'm gonna have 16 gig of that Corsair Vengeance. It's class 13, which is really good for DDR4. More voice cracks. But yeah, I'll leave links to everything in the description. And yeah, that's really about it for the setup. Just show you around. This is basically my pride and glory. Like, when I first got my computer, I had that rubbish and just this rubbish monitor, and it's coming together nicely. I've still got a long way to go, a lot of saving up to do. Yeah, that will take about a year maybe, but like my dream goal is like way up in the future, like many years in the future, which is like having an ultra wide monitor in the middle, 2 matching 1080p monitors on the side with a GTX 980 Ti in there, and just be able to run everything. But that's off in the future. Right now I've got to stay realistic, and that's what I've done. I'm pretty sure this computer will have cost a total of like £800 when I've fully done it, and for that I'm getting unbelievable specs, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, that's enough rambling. This video is really going to be interesting to watch in the few years in the future when I've actually upgraded. I think this is like my base right now, and I'm just going to keep building on this, and then I'll hopefully every time I update my setup I'll make a new video, and it'll be interesting to see how it progresses over the coming years. I want to thank you for watching this video of just me rambling on. If you did enjoy it, definitely give it a thumbs up, give me some feedback, tell me what kind of videos you want to see. You want to see gaming videos on this channel, I'll be sure to do that. I have made a separate channel, but if you want gaming videos on this channel or a gaming channel, just let me know where you want it. And when I start gaming in the summer after my exams, I'll definitely make loads of videos on that. What games you want me to play, what kind of in real life videos you want me to make, all of that. Put it in the comments, throw this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you didn't like this video, you can dislike it, I don't mind, but tell me why, tell me how to make my videos better. That's what I really want. I want to be able to make videos that I'm proud of making, that I'm proud of looking at, that people enjoy seeing. I think that's it. Just take one last look at everything right here. You know what, I'll turn these bad boys on. Oh yes, see, you can even see the difference on camera. That's a HDMI, really nice and bright. I put that to max settings, but that's only DVI, so it's kind of, you know, a bit duller. Oh, I forgot to mention one big thing, which is my headset. Turtle Beach P11s, I had one set for 3 years, and only then the microphone broke. And it wasn't even broken, just the wire wasn't plugging in properly. And even then the headset worked perfectly. These are very robust, only £35. I'll leave a link to these also in the description. But yeah, Turtle Beach P11s, way forward. Yes, surprisingly enough, that's on my channel, so if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Make that subscriber count go up. What a coincidence. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching this video. As usual, love all your support. Peace out.